My husband never listens to me. I don't know how long our marriage can last.
Sorry, what'd you say?
I said...
Huh? What was that? I can't hear you.
I, 24 female, am questioning whether my marriage to my husband, 24 male, can work.
Oh, man, that's my age. Oh, that's how old I am.
We've been together since we were 15, but have only been married for a year. By the way, this comes from user Philly Birdlaw. Ha! On the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So that's a great It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia reference. Anyway, I started questioning our relationship before we even got married, which is maybe don't get married then, particularly when we started wedding planning, which probably should have been my first sign. I have for a while felt like I'm not heard or completely respected. We've had many discussions and arguments about this and other problems that I've brought up, and nothing seems to change. I, for the past year, have been in therapy for my depression and anxiety. It sounds sad to say, but I really just learned within the past month that I'm allowed to not want to deal with certain situations or feelings or behaviors, and it's like a switch flipped in my brain. And I woke up one morning and all my patience is gone for some of the things my husband does that I have in the past been more empathetic or patient about or just straight up tolerated. He has ADHD, and I understand that makes him struggle with certain things, so I don't know how valid I am. When we started trying to plan our wedding date, we had decided on March of 2023 and let our parents know and to let us know if the date would cause any problems, as we wanted to make sure all family members and important people could make it. My parents were fine by this, but my, at the time, fiance's mom told him that his sister would be studying abroad. What's her name? Sorry. I told him, my favorite dumb joke. I told him that we could change the date to make sure she would be able to attend, but he assured me that it would be fine and that his family had no issues. However, later that night, his dad had called him and was cursing him out, saying we needed to change the date because his mom was crying because we weren't being inclusive of his sister. So we then changed the date. I also started having a lot of recurring anxiety about making wedding decisions because I was worried about making a wrong choice and causing problems. We had decided together that we didn't want a huge ceremony or many guests. We had started our guest list about a year and a half, maybe 2 years before the wedding was to take place. He had double checked with his mom about all extended family and relatives that needed to be invited. Our guest list had ended up being about 75 people. About a month before the ceremony, his mom said that we were missing some of his family members, his grandfather's 2 sisters and their partners, and his grandmother's sister and her partner. What? All being on his mom's side of the family.
So it just seems like they're being nitpicky with who is invited to the wedding. Like, oh, we can't do this wedding because this person isn't invited yet.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's like the grand aunt and their partner who I don't know. They really need to be there? I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
All of this was on his mom's side of the family, which is probably important. I mean, that's the mom pulling all of these levers. I was upset as we were a month out, and even though we had a set guest list for the past year, which we had decided not to add anyone else to, we had to add these family members. I had asked that we not add them as it was too soon, and if they were that important, they should have been included when he and his mom talked about the guest list a year ago. She got upset because they were important and they were family, and that they go to every holiday and they need to go to the wedding. Mind you, we had been dating since we were 15. I've been to several Thanksgivings and Christmases beginning to end, and I've only ever seen one great aunt and uncle at Thanksgiving once.
But they're being very like, they have to make it, or
yeah,
we can't have the wedding. It's
like these are like extended family. It's like, what are we talking about? We've already got 75 people going to the wedding.
Yeah. How many?
That's a lot of people. However, I agreed to add these estranged people to the guest list as I had been slack at sending out invitations anyway, and because they were family members. So I try to make the situation better and to probably just appease me. Both he and his mom said that these relatives wouldn't even come. So why are you inviting them? What? You can imagine how angry I was that they came anyway. Ugh!
Yeah.
God. Ugh. Annoying. We had another argument about the guest list about 2 weeks from the wedding as well, again from his mother. One of the great aunts and their partners couldn't make it, so his mother wanted to invite 2 other family members in their place. At this point, our guest list was at 80 people.
Who's paying for this?
Who's paying for this? What are we talking about?
give me who's paying for this, and then you can call the shots. But if we ain't paying for it, why are we calling the shots?
Also, your great aunt Belinda can't come. Her ulcer's flaring up. But I got your great aunt Veronica, who never has ever met you, who's also going to come now.
She has to come to the wedding.
Yeah, what?
I'm all about, like, if, I haven't seen a family member, an extended family member, more than a year, and I'm like, have I seen them in less than a year? No. If they come to the wedding, will they make it better? No. They're not coming.
There you go. Riley's golden rules right there.
I have heard the rule sometimes of, like, if they don't say happy birthday to you,
Ooh.
then they're not invited. Not necessarily. I think that's more with friends, but it's like it shows how close you guys are. Yeah.
I guess no, I'm just kidding.
I went to your birthday dinner.
At this point, our guest list was at 80 people, which was more than we wanted attending in the first place. And we had told our caterer and venue that we would only have 70 to 75 guests. I got upset, had a small anxiety attack, and asked that we please not invite them, as it felt like the guest list was getting out of hand. The event was in 2 weeks. I had already sent out invitations, and one of the first things we had said about the wedding was that we wanted it to be small. And it felt like it was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. We had only wanted like 50 guests to begin with. His mom started crying and kept crying until he told her just to invite the relatives. We argued and argued for hours, with me trying to explain how I felt unheard and upset that we weren't allowed to make our own choices, and I had thought he had my back and would support me. His parents had paid for our catering, which I realized was very kind of them. But after we got engaged, his mom asked nonstop if she could help with planning or if she could help pay for anything. My mom had asked if she and his dad wanted to help pay for catering, and they agreed. His parents said that since they paid for the catering, after they asked over and over to help do something for the wedding, they should be allowed to invite whoever they want to the wedding, which further upset me. And at that point, you know what I'm doing at that point? I'm refunding the caterer.
Ooh.
I'm changing the wedding date. Everyone's uninvited, especially all the people you invited.
Yeah,
We're redoing the wedding.
Yeah, especially great Aunt Linda. She ain't effing coming.
Great Aunt Linda, who I don't know, she's going to talk to me about her bowel movements.
And how the food stinks.
She's not coming. And your caterer canceled.
Yep.
Sorry. You're not going to hold that over me like it's some sort of chip that you can play in a game.
That is weird.
Yeah.
Blackmail. I mean, if you pay for the catering, how many people do you get to move around or request for the wedding?
Hey,
how many?
guess what? Zero.
Zero?
None.
Yeah. I mean, I could see requesting someone, but that means that the answer could be no.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
I was saying, like, they could have, like, 2 or 3 people that, like, get into the wedding because they paid for that part.
Well, yeah, but you ask. Right.
Yeah. Okay.
At
You're
that
always
point,
asking.
it's different.
Yeah.
You have no right to be like, and we're expanding your guest list by 30 people, and you can't tell me we're not because I paid for the chicken parmesan. It's like, what are you talking about?
Pay for the barbecue.
It's hard.
Yes. So anyway, getting back to the story, that was what I would do. Let's see what they do. My fiance agreed with that reasoning and then eventually told me that he cared more about his mother's feelings than mine. Yikes! That hurt me for a long time and still does if I think about it too long. I reminded my fiance for weeks leading up to the wedding date that he and his mom needed to find a song for their dance. By the time the week of our wedding had come, they still didn't know. He wanted me to choose a song, but I refused as it was for their moment, not mine, and it should be about them and be a song that they choose together. And even if she did pick it, they'd probably be like, why'd you pick this song? It's the wrong song.
Yeah.
Sorry, let me get this straight. They're trying to pick the first dance song? Is that what they're trying to do?
No, they pay for catering.
For the not the first dance song, just for it's the mother-son dance.
Oh.
And they're saying, you pick the song, OP. And OP's like, no, y'all should pick the song to your dance.
Yeah, that's weird.
Weird. So, yeah, I didn't want to be accused of not letting his mom pick a song or of being accused that I was being controlling. So they picked a song on the Wednesday before the wedding. We're getting married on Saturday. I cried right before my rehearsal dinner on Friday started because my fiance and his mother decided that night, the night literally before our wedding, that they wanted to change the song for their dance the night before the wedding, which honestly, is that a big deal? Is that why? It's their dance.
It's like, hey DJ, could you change the song?
That should be like okay.
That's like you can do that.
That's like a 5-second type thing.
If also there's like a huge like dance and like a recital for the dance and it's all based around the song, I get
that song, but it's like it's just their song.
It's just their
just
song.
These two people.
I think that's not an issue.
As long
to
as they're
change
cool with it, I think that's fine.
But it is a bride about to get married and things are happening and she's about to change her life.
I'm the wedding
This
guy.
is a wedding. The DJ might be like, oh yeah, it's a $500 fee to change a song the night before.
All right.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
It's like, who knows?
That'd be
I don't
crazy.
know.
If it's a live band, maybe, but like if it's just like, all right, click.
Why don't you get
Right.
stand-up comedians for your wedding?
Is that what you want?
Yes.
Those events were kind of the tip of the iceberg for me. Our marriage had a very rocky start, and I felt, oh, you just went, okay, they got married. Wow.
Oh, shoot.
Our marriage had a very rocky start, and I felt like I couldn't trust that my husband and I were on the same team.
No.
We eventually got to a point where we were doing okay, but lately, within the past 2 months, I've been questioning our relationship again. I used to be excited at the idea of building a life together and having a forever with my person, but I don't feel excited anymore. I just feel tired.
Aw.
He is straight up addicted to his computer. He cannot go a single day without being on it. He has many online friends that he will game with and talk to just about constantly.
Yeah.
He works from his home in IT support, and when he's working on tickets, he'll join a Discord call and talk while he's working. And when he has slow moments in his day, he plays games while he works with his friends. What a cool guy using Discord. You can use Discord to get into our Discord.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Whoa.
Did you know that OK Storytime has a Discord?
And it's so fun.
Yeah,
and
it's
a
only cool
great-
to be on your computer all the time if you're on our Discord.
or watching
That's
us.
the rule. That's the
It's
rule.
true.
We
Might
got
have been
OK
okay.
Storytime clips. We got OK Storytime comps. We got OK Storytime clips on Facebook. We got our own channel. We got lives. We got Discord.
That's right. That's right.
Be addicted to us.
It'll save your
Okay,
marriage.
maybe not like that, but
It'll save your marriage.
It will
Keon.
save your marriage.
It will
You'll-
save your marriage.
You will get stronger as a person. Also, we have more things coming out online, so you can get addicted
Yeah,
to
dude,
those.
we've got a lot of things in the pipeline right now. It's
Like a
really
game.
exciting. Okay, back to the story. When I get home, we usually will watch maybe an hour or two of a show we like while we eat dinner, and then he goes right back to his call and games. That is very unhealthy. When I'm at work, he doesn't really message me that often. Sometimes he does, but sometimes he just forgets or doesn't check that I've messaged.
Yeah, because he's talking to his waifu online anime girlfriend.
Yeah, he's talking to his AI chatbot girlfriend. I do use Discord to message him. I stopped texting him years ago and just switched to Discord because I thought maybe if I switched to something he uses more often, maybe he'd talk to me more, but it hasn't really helped. He has always struggled with texting, taking hours to respond. I tried bringing this up for years, and it doesn't make sense to me that he'll sit in calls and talk to his friends all day long but not answer me back. His games seem to take priority over a lot, despite him telling me they don't. I have to wait for him to finish games that he's in to go to places, to eat dinner sometimes, for him to do things around the house. He'll stay up until 2, 3, or 4 in the morning, depending on the day of the week, playing games, which I think a lot of us have been there, but at the same time,
Dude.
it's like that's not, you can't be doing that if you're trying to like start a family and like have a
Yeah.
wife and, and
Yeah.
be married.
tell me about it, Angie.
Yeah, you know me, always up playing games all night long.
It's
That's
crazy.
me.
And
She's
it's
just
like
Minecraft.
not like one night, like maybe one night is okay with friends. One night, one late night
Yeah, catching up with the bros.
for the homies.
For the female bros.
Just like every day though, nah, you can't be doing that.
Yeah.
Can't be doing that
Dude,
with a
I-
wife.
Yeah.
I remember when my brother, we didn't have internet growing up, so I remember whenever he got internet and could game every day until like 2 or 3 in the morning. It drove me crazy, bro. He started banging on his desk, yelling in his room.
Ooh, you can't be doing that.
When we have
Over, like, Among
roommates.
Us, right?
Ooh, you can't be doing that.
Yeah, over Among Us, dude.
Over a mogus. Okay, so if we have plans to go somewhere or meet someone, it's a struggle. I'll ask him the night before if he will get up to help me, and he says he will. I'll get up, get myself ready, take our 2 dogs outside, and make treat-filled toys for them before we have to go. I'll ask him to please get up all throughout me getting ready, and he'll get up with 10 minutes before we have to leave, and we end up being late. I would like help with getting everything ready with the dogs, where maybe he would take them out while I prep toys, or I take them out and he preps the toys. Just something to help me out.
Yeah.
It makes me frustrated, and I feel like I'm dealing with a child rather than a man that I'm married to. Well, it's because you married a man child.
Yeah, like that sucks. Like you get into a marriage and then they just don't help out around the house.
Yeah, it's like
fall apart.
Just fall apart.
you gotta be able to do things without being asked. You have to
Yeah.
be able to do things without being told. You have eyes, you have ears.
Mm-hmm.
See and do. Monkey see, monkey do. I don't know why I just had to say that. When I said see and do, I had to put the monkeys on the front.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yep,
Don't we
monkeys
all?
jumping on the bed.
Sometimes you just gotta put the monkeys in front. I have lost the patience and empathy and tolerance that I've had for years. Yeah, also they've been together since they were 15. It's been 9 years. So he's probably stupidly comfortable and thinks, hey, she's not going anywhere.
Dude, oh my gosh. I've seen couples like this where they're just comfortable and they stay together just out of convenience.
Yeah, nah, there's
Breaks my heart.
nothing convenient about this anymore, that's for sure. I just don't want to deal with this anymore. I feel frustrated so often, and I don't know if I should stay or start trying to go. I used to want kids with him and was excited at the possibility of building a family with him, but now I don't think I want to. I feel like I'm alone, and I feel like I'm competing with a computer and his friends for attention, no matter how much I've tried to talk about it, and I don't want to bring kids up like that. And maybe he'll be different with kids, which Kids never are a solution to problems like this. But what evidence do I have? I know that he loves and cares for me, and I don't think he's a bad person, but I don't know if I love him anymore, or if I want to keep dealing with things, or whether or not I'm just being dramatic. Would I be the a-hole to leave him? No.
And we got a freaking update.
We do have an update.
Really?
We do.
Dude, we already
have an
know.
update. But
Oh, yeah, he would make an amazing partner.
here's the update. Update to address some comments. Not trying to make excuses, just provide explanations. And we've got bullet points, Riley's favorite. We've had discussions to try and address his behavior, and each time I was assured that it wouldn't be an issue. These discussions have also ended with him getting mad at me for things I've done wrong, and we just end up going in circles. Yeah, you can talk, and if the actions never change, then it's useless. He doesn't refuse to take care of the dogs. I'm supposed to take them out in the morning, which I often do. He will take them out at night and feed them if I haven't already. It's just in situations where that schedule is different, like if we need to leave the house or get up early to do something, which is not an excuse, because just being like, well, it's in the schedule that you're supposed to be up there in the morning. It's like if your girlfriend or your wife just asks like, hey, can you please take the dogs out this morning? You'd be like, all right. Not like, actually, in the contract, you take care of the dogs in the AM. It's like, no. And you know what? I want to take care of all my dogs right now in the chat. Because if you like stories like this one, I just want to let y'all know you can get way more of them.
Yep.
Like an almost limitless supply of them by looking up OK Storytime on your favorite podcast platform, whether it's Spotify, whether it's Google Podcasts,
no
which
longer
doesn't exist
exists
anymore, whether it's
Amazon
Apple Podcasts or iHeartRadio or
Apple
we're
Podcasts.
all over the place.
Yeah.
And of course, we're on YouTube and Facebook. Just look up OK Storytime, and you are in for a treat. So before we finish this,
we're breaking up, dude.
when would you have broken up? Because clearly they need to break up. But when would have been the moment that you had been like, all right, this can't happen?
I honestly would have checked. I don't know. It seems like he hasn't had much independence before this. So, like, he probably just lived with his parents and like, oh, the parents are fine, blah, blah. I probably would have, like, saw that as a red flag.
Well, weren't they together since they were like 15?
Yeah.
Is that
Yes.
right?
And
And
now
how old
they're
are they now?
20. They're 24.
24.
Yeah, that's those are some important years that you gotta learn a lot about yourself.
Yeah.
Learn a lot about being an adult, being independent, and if they kind of miss that, then yeah, like what you were saying.
Yeah, they now become your child.
Yeah, it's just like a codependent thing where it's like, well, we've been together for so long, she's never going to leave.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we're married, and now I can just be like, yeah, I'll change, but then I never will.
I'll just play video games and talk to my online
I don't know.
girlfriend.
I think it would have been, for me, it would be like if at the wedding planning, it's being like, yeah, I think I just care about how my mom feels about this more than you. I'd be like, that's crazy, because are you getting married to your mom?
Right.
Right? Oh, that's wild. You care more about how your mom feels about our wedding?
Yeah, that is true.
Weird.
Dude,
Because he didn't step up to his mom at all. That would have also been my second red flag. He's like, the mom's pulling all this crazy stuff, and he's not saying anything.
Well, I mean, that's probably because he's a child still, and he's like, not used to having that independence like we talked about.
It's like a mother may I type syndrome.
Yeah.
Where it's like everything needs to like, I need my permission from mom. It's like, you're
mommy
24
approval.
actually. You don't need don't need your mom's permission to do your wedding how you want to do it.
My mom said I need to change the dance, so we're gonna change the dance. We're literally getting married tomorrow. Like he's pulling that crap.
You gotta grow up.
So let's finish this off. Got some more bullet points. So we had a discussion about a week ago where I said that I didn't want to be in this relationship anymore if he did not revise his behavior, which I didn't even talk about this, but like, yeah, I was going to ask, is there even a way to salvage this with this conversation? And I think we're going to find out that there's not. So she said that, and he owned up to his behaviors and said that he would work on them because he does want to be with me and to be married to me. I've noticed some effort, but I personally don't feel the same way about him that I did before. And that is the end of that story.
Whoa.
Oh my.
Ends just
Nothing
like that?
else?
Wow, just left. Is there any update? Is there an update to that? Or is it just a cliffhanger? So that, okay, to go back to the conversation, right? You guys have had this exact discussion before where you go, hey, you need to change the way that you're behaving. And he goes, I will change for you because I love you. I want to be with you. And then he just doesn't.
Yeah.
And you've done that so many times now that he's learned, whether he even realizes it or not, that he just needs to say that he wants to be with you and stay with you, and then he can just go back to doing the exact same things that he was doing before. I would bet you 100 smackaronis that that's exactly what would happen here as well.
One thing Angie said to me one time in our relationship, which really stuck out to me, was she was like, hey, I really appreciate who you are, and even though you say nice things, you do a lot in your actions, thus it like, I appreciate that. Did I say that right?
Yeah, I was thinking.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
actually kind of thinking about that. One time, my therapist told me like to repeat the thing to yourself, like I don't trust, I observe. So even if someone tells you that they're gonna be this and this and this, you have to actually like, okay, cool, thank you for promising that, but you have to actually wait and see if their actions line up. And yeah, yours have, and so that's probably what you were thinking of.
So that I think that's like a huge thing that, if your partner doesn't, if you're not observing their change, they can say whatever, doesn't mean anything.